first up. He's on the left lane. He's from Vidor, Texas. It's a suburb of Beaumont, Texas, about 300 miles from here. He's 34 years old, 4 championships. A man that loves to practice, works hard.
Come on, David!
And as a result of practice, he gets a lot of strikes, Bo, just like that power one we saw.
Well, Chris, as you remember last year, Bob Benoit rolled that 300 game in the championship game here at the Quaker State, so we know these lanes can yield some high scores. Obviously, veterans out there who know how to roll those scores under pressure.
So the other Texan in this first match, Pete McCordic of perfect 300 game fame in Torrance 2 years ago, will now show you how to cover the 10 pin on the right lane. He is 35. Houston is his home. Really a neat guy, a veteran. Okay, the game is on. As we indicated, there are 3 Texans, our tournament leaders from St. Louis. McCordic.
Here's a player who has just made himself a good bowler. 4-step delivery, shoulder-high arm swing. He used to have a bump in that arm swing. Now lines it straight, high follow-through. Slides about 8 to 10 inches behind the foul line. Has made himself a top player on the Professional Bowlers Tour.
So we've had 2 shots on the left lane, 2 strikes. So now with his first shot on this side, let's take a look at David Ozio, father of 2, Heather and Haley. Well, that's a style we could all copy, Nelson.
You're not kidding, Chris. Another player who has just made himself a top pro, a veteran for a number of years who struggled a little bit in the early going, spent a lot of time practicing. As you can see, he's solid at the foul line, is playing that outside line. And one little teaser here, he had 10 gutter balls in the tournament and still qualified for the championship round. So we can look for that extreme outside line from most of the players today.
Up with a high hit, and the result often happens is a 3-6-10, and he's pretty disgusted with that shot.
You see that with his ball just drifting a little bit high, it's going right up through the heart. The 3-6-10 spare is left, and Chris, the lanes are hooking quite a bit today. It's been rainy here all week and a lot of humidity, and that makes lanes a little bit drier than usual, so spares across lane can be a little bit tough.
All right, David Ozio continuing to mark here in our first match. If you just joined us, we're in Grand Prairie, Texas. The winner will meet last week's winner, Del Ballard Jr., who won in Las Vegas. And here's McCordic, 2 victories, 16-year professional. All right, McCordic. He's had a lot of inspiration. We asked him earlier what was his inspiration to make the top 5 this week. All right, a double on his lap, now going for 3 in a row. Okay, he opened with a spare. So now he takes a 13-pin lead.
39 and 40 here at the Forum Bowl, a house of 60 lanes. 39 is the key lane. It hooks a lot more. The players have to play a shot between the 2nd and 3rd arrows and send it very wide. Lane 40, everybody has scored well. The oil is 42 feet down the lanes, and obviously the last 18 feet very dry. Ozio has been around the pocket every shot except in the 3rd frame. McCordic has 3 strikes working. Ozio has to get on the stick.
Bo mentioned the 60 bowling lanes. There are 30 crystal chandeliers in this establishment, owned by a lovely lady named Jeannie Halsey. All right. Then a work of beauty. as Ozio hits on the right lane, moving back over to the left. There you see the scoring situation. Ozio can cut that lead to 3, held by McCordic with a double here, shooting in the 5th next as he takes a re-rack.
Each player allowed 3 re-racks in the championship match. And Chris, here's an interesting game matchup. The 2 best teams, I think, in basketball today. Louisville is number 3, and Michigan, what a great team.
All right, not much hope for Purdue then, right?
No, you're right.
And high hit for Ozio. Remember, he left the 3-6-10 earlier. Now he has the 3-6-9-10.
And here is a spare of much more difficulty, Chris, because the 9-pin, that double wood 9-pin behind the 3-pin, makes a player have to play an outside trajectory out near the right-hand channel to make sure he carries the back pin and still avoid the chop.
Good preparation, Ozio. That was almost perfect, wasn't it, Nelson?
Anytime they all go down, Chris, it's like a landing in an airplane. If you walk away from the flight, it's good, and he walked away from that, so he made that spare perfectly, knocking all 4 pins down and staying in contention in the match. McCordic 3 in a row, leads by 13, 5th frame.
Crossing over, and he too now will show you how he'll attempt to knock down the 3-6-10 on the right lane.
McCordic, who is checking the overhead scoreboard, uses what we call a full grip or fingertip grip in his ball, and he tucks that pinky finger under there for a little more control. As you see the spare at hand, McCordic, a little tape on that index finger to get a little push off on that ball.
That won in Fresno and Tucson. Okay, we're going to have Pete give us an answer to that question about his inspiration for this week. Okay, no better reasons in the world than those 2 youngsters of the McCordics. And, of course, that strike came in the 6th frame. Continues to lead by 10, but here is Ozio, spare working, 6th frame shot. This is our first match. And the winner will meet Del Ballard of Richardson, Texas.
You know, to become a top professional bowler, you need natural athletic ability and obviously the opportunity